Have you ever thought about the true story behind Godric Gryffindor? What if the legendary founder of Hogwarts wasn't as flawless as many believe? In today's video, you'll uncover the secrets of his past, the conflicts that shaped him, and the legacy he left behind. Godric Gryffindor was one of the 4 great wizards who built Hogwarts. His name became a symbol of courage, and his house was home to some of the bravest students, including the heroes of the Harry Potter saga. But who was he before Hogwarts? What made him so extraordinary? Born in a small village in 10th century England, young Godric grew up among both wizards and muggles. His home, later known as Godric's Hollow, was a rare place where magic and non-magic coexisted in peace. From childhood, he displayed an incredible talent for dueling, quickly earning a reputation as the greatest duelist of his time. And here's something unusual. He didn't just duel wizards, he also fought muggles. Unlike many wizards, Godric never used magic against non-magical opponents. Instead, he wielded a sword with unmatched skill, proving that true bravery wasn't just about spells. His fearless nature made him legendary, but also hot-tempered and quick to challenge others. He wasn't a passive leader, he was a warrior. When he founded Hogwarts alongside Salazar Slytherin, Rowena Ravenclaw, and Helga Hufflepuff, they shared a dream to create a school where young witches and wizards could learn magic. But that dream soon turned into a battle of ideals. Salazar believed that only pure-blood wizards deserved to be taught. Godric, raised alongside muggles, thought differently. He insisted that talent mattered more than blood. Their friendship cracked, and when the conflict reached its peak, Salazar left the school for good. Yet his influence remained, shaping the House of Slytherin for centuries to come. As for Godric, his story fades into mystery. No records tell us how or when he died. But his legacy lives on. He enchanted his own hat, turning it into the sorting hat that still assigns students to their houses. And then there's the legendary sword of Gryffindor, forged by goblins and enchanted to appear only in the hands of those who truly embody his values. But there's one final mystery. Unlike Slytherin, whose bloodline continued, Gryffindor's descendants remain unknown. Did he choose not to have a family? Or was his lineage lost to history? Perhaps the bravest wizard of his age left behind more than just a sword and a school. Perhaps his greatest legacy is still hidden, waiting to be discovered. Legends paint Godric Gryffindor as a hero, a fearless champion of justice. But what if his story held more complexity than simple heroism? What if his past was filled with shadows and secrets that history has long since buried? Godric's rise to power was not without struggle. His talent as a duelist made him both admired and feared. From a young age, he attracted rivals, powerful witches and wizards who saw him as a threat. Some challenged him in duels, hoping to claim his reputation for themselves. Others sought to test his courage, believing no man could truly be as brave as the stories claimed. But Godric never backed down. He met every challenge, fought every battle, and emerged victorious time and time again. One tale, passed down in whispers, tells of a duel that almost cost him everything. A dark wizard, whose name has been erased from history, sought to destroy Godric, believing that fear and intimidation were the true paths to power. The duel lasted for hours, shaking the very ground beneath them. Magic clashed in the air like a storm, lighting up the night sky with flashes of raw energy. Godric, wounded and exhausted, refused to yield, but the dark wizard was unlike any he had faced before, merciless, relentless, and willing to cross any line. Just when it seemed that Godric would fall, something happened. Some say he reached deep into his own soul, unlocking a power no one had seen before. Others claim it was not magic, but sheer willpower that saved him. The battle ended with the dark wizard's defeat, but not before he uttered a curse, one that would follow Godric for the rest of his days. After that night, something changed. Godric, once quick to seek a fight, became more measured, more thoughtful. He no longer chased conflict, but when it found him, he met it head-on. He turned his focus towards something greater, building a future for the next generation of wizards. That dream led him to the other founders of Hogwarts, each bringing their own vision to the school. Rowena Ravenclaw sought knowledge above all else. Helga Hufflepuff valued fairness and loyalty. Salazar Slytherin dreamed of a world where pure-blood wizards reigned supreme. And Godric? He wanted a place where courage and strength of character mattered more than birthright. At first, the four founders worked in harmony, shaping Hogwarts into a school unlike any the world had seen before. Together they laid its foundations, weaving magic into its very walls, ensuring it would stand for centuries to come. They selected students based on their unique gifts, each founder championing those who embodied their values. But beneath this unity, cracks were already forming. The rift between Godric and Salazar did not happen overnight. It began as a quiet disagreement, a debate about the future of magic. Salazar believed that allowing Muggle-borns into the school was dangerous. He warned that one day the magical world would suffer for its openness. Godric dismissed these fears, convinced that talent knew no bloodline. But Salazar's words planted doubt, not only in Godric's mind, but in the minds of others. The argument escalated into heated discussions, then outright hostility. The students, once united under one roof, began whispering in corridors, taking sides in a battle they barely understood. Some saw Godric as a visionary, a leader who would shape the future. Others saw him as reckless, too willing to trust those who might one day betray the wizarding world. When Salazar finally left Hogwarts, it was not in silence. He departed with words that would haunt the school forever, that his bloodline would return, that one day his heir would rise and fulfill the destiny he had envisioned. Godric watched his old friend walk away, knowing there was nothing more to be said. The school belonged to those who remained, and he would ensure that it stood as a beacon of hope, not fear. But even after Salazar was gone, his influence lingered. Whispers of the Chamber of Secrets spread among the students, rumors of a hidden monster waiting to purge the school of those Salazar deemed unworthy. Godric searched for proof of this chamber, determined to put an end to the fear it inspired. He never found it. Perhaps in some way he refused to believe that his friend had left such a dark legacy behind. As the years passed, Godric remained at Hogwarts, guiding generation after generation of young witches and wizards. He became a legend in his own lifetime, his name spoken with reverence. But even legends grow old, and even the bravest warriors must one day face their final battle. No record exists of Godric's death. Some say he passed away peacefully within the castle walls, surrounded by those who admired him. Others believe he met his end on the battlefield, sword in hand, fighting for the world he had sworn to protect. There are even those who whisper that he never truly died, that he vanished, leaving behind only his legacy, waiting for a time when Hogwarts would need him once more. What remains certain is the mark he left on the magical world. The Sorting Hat, once his own hat, continues to carry his wisdom, judging each new student as he once did. The Sword of Gryffindor, hidden in times of peace, appears only when true courage is needed. His name, centuries later, still inspires those who seek to stand for what is right. Yet one mystery remains unsolved. Unlike Salazar Slytherin, whose bloodline endured, there is no trace of Godric's descendants. Did he choose a life of solitude, dedicating himself entirely to his students? Or was there a reason his lineage faded into obscurity? Some believe he had a family, but they chose to remain in the shadows, living quietly away from history's gaze. Others suggest a darker possibility, that his line was erased, deliberately wiped from records, hidden for reasons no one dares to speak aloud. The truth may never be known, but one thing is certain. As long as Hogwarts stands, as long as there are those who value courage over fear, Godric Gryffindor's legacy will never fade. His story is not just one of power and greatness. It is a story of choices, of the battles we fight, the friends we lose, and the ideals we refuse to surrender. And perhaps in some forgotten corner of the wizarding world, the last